Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are good बच्चों. So today we are going to start our new chapter which is based on essay writing. How can you write essay? Okay, write कैसे करते हैं essay को, कैसे लिखते हैं. तो थोड़ा सा क्या होता है बच्चे, आपको हल्का सा हिंट मिल सकता है, वो भी आपको खुद होना चाहिए कि आप पहले उसकी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तभी तो हिंट मिलेगा और तभी आप पूरा प्रॉपर ऐसे राइट डाउन कर पाएंगे. क्योंकि ऐसे लिखना भी क्या है एक बच्चे आर्ट है. जितना आप अपने आइडियाज़ को, व्यूज़ को, फैक्ट्स के बेस पर, एग्जाम्पल्स के बेस पर वहाँ पर लिखोगे तो उतना वो लॉजिकल होगा, उतना ही वो इम्पैक्ट डालेगा किसी भी एग्जामिनर के ऊपर और आपके टीचर पर भी. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं बच्चे. Writing an essay is an art. It is method to present the writer's ideas and facts on subjects in a substantial and logical manner. It is simple but emphatic language. An essay should begin with an introduction in which the topics introduced and it should end with conclusion. So यहाँ पर कंक्लूजन के साथ आपको ऐड करना होता है. तो आप काफ़ी सारे ऐसे यहाँ पर पढ़ेंगे बच्चे, आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा किस तरह से हम किसी भी ऐसे के किसी भी टॉपिक को अच्छे से ब्रीफली लिख सकते हैं. तो फर्स्ट हमारा यहाँ है एजुकेशन फॉर ऑल. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया इन द डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी and switches of realize free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14 years. The program of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is set up in the realizations of the dream of constituent makers. According to this scheme, all school-going children should complete 5 years primary education by 2007 and then their 3 years elementary education by 2010. More than 5 years have already passed since its inception. The program report of the first phase of the plan has been published, but the target aimed at is still a far cry. Despite sizable accolades of the farms of the betterments of the infrastructure, the drive has not been a complete success. Lack of motivation among the teachers and the logical monitoring bodies of responsible for its inability to meet its target. For the successful implementation of plan is required a coordinated effort of all those involved in it, who should look at this scheme as a successor for the suffering masses. Next is corporal punishment. कॉर्पोरल पनिशमेंट के ऊपर है बच्चे ये. तो ये कंप्लीट आपने ऐसे यहाँ पर राइट डाउन करना है जिस तरह से यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, सेम आपको लर्न भी करना होता है. ओके, और समझेंगे मेन कि किस तरह से लिखा हुआ है, कंक्लूजन के साथ राइट डाउन किया है. तो रीड आउट. Corporal punishment has been in vogue in schools for a long time. Spare the rod and spoil the child has been common thinking among teachers. However, modern educations think that corporal punishment has no role to play in our education system. This is an evil practice and does more harm than good. It creates the learners a sense of fear and inferiority complex that affects their mental growth. In some measures, this is responsible for children dropping off the education. Corporal punishments impairs the sweet and scared relationship between the teacher and taught. It has demoralizing effect of the learner's minds. Love and sympathy, care and considerations are the things that students should receive from his teacher. They are way to reform a child who proves to be a tough child for teachers, and all these ways are understandings for child's psychology. Let us hope that our teachers adopt psychological techniques to read their students and help them become able citizens and successful professionals. Next is school magazine. A school magazine is an important part of school education. Every good student publishes its annual magazines and thereby nurtures the talent of its students. In publishing a school magazine, the students conduct the whole job right from collecting compositions to publishing them under the able guidance of teachers. One of the students acts as an editor. The publishing of a school magazine undergoes a process. First, students are asked to submit that articles, stories, poetry, plays, etc. They are then composed, designed, proofread, edited and then printed. Compositions are selected only on merits. The students whose works are printed feel exultant. It gives them confidence too. Thus, a school magazine gives students a chance for self-expression. It promotes their talent, literacy skills. In fact, a school magazine is the breeding group of the future's writers and thinkers. Besides, students also learn the value of cooperation and skills of organization. Therefore, a school magazine ought to be published by every school. Next is usefulness of reading biographies. A biography is a written account of person's life. We read the lives of great men to whom humanity owns a lot. This lives of luminaries, brass of spirits of drive and dynamism. Their doings and suffering, ideas and action encourage the common people like us to follow in their footprints. They are our guidance, the guidance of the erring humanity, the lives of the Vidyasagars and Rabindranath, Robert Bruce and Mother Teresa. Vivekananda and Mahatma Gandhi are many others of their link inspire us to love life justly, think positively and act accordingly. The great people have shown that despite repeated shocks and setbacks, they never wavered from the pursuit of their cherished goals. We profit by their experience. In fact, they take us out of the morass of mental depressions and rejuvenate our spirits. Reading their biographies inspire us to follow their ideas in our life and work, and thus put us on the path to achieve our cherished goals. Next is my idea of an ideal teacher. Teaching has been one of the noblest professions since the immemorials. A teacher plays an important role the carving out of future citizens of a nation. Naturally, they must possess some qualities of head and heart which can exert abiding impact on the minds of their students. A good teacher is at first jealous learners, and he has through knowledge of the subjects he teaches. He must create interest of the students in the subject, but mere intellectual learning is not sufficient. He is not alters and better the perspective of every learner. He must be well-rounded personality is required to possess qualities like patience, self-disciplines, intellectual skills, organization abilities, and more important than all other qualities, he must be normally pure and perfect. When I took for an ideal teachers and around myself, I find Mr. Bhuvan Jain of my schools repel with all these qualities. And in addition to those which I fail to enumerate, he is a living example of an ideal teacher. Next one is leisure. इसको लेजर भी बोल सकते हैं बच्चे फ्री टाइम में. Modern technology should have in fact given us more time to enjoy ourselves as we can perform our jobs more quickly. But just the reverse has happened. We have assumed such tasks which have made us all the busiest. Leisure has become a rare commodity. Continuous work and its resultant stress and strain affect an individual's awfully. He seeks rest and relief from the regular routine. His hard work deserves leisure but rejuvenates him. He soothes his mind and body. He refreshes him. It gives him a new lease of life. However, leisure does not mean laziness. The man who works sincerely can enjoy his leisure fruitfully. It boosts up his spirits and makes him more enterprising. So leisure is not only entertaining but also invigorating. An individual may enjoy his leisure hours in many different ways. He is own master in this regard, but misuse of leisure is not desirable. Leisure time is the best suited for practicing a hobby, visiting friends and relatives, reading books and giving time to mind to recoup. Next is punctuality. पंक्चुअलिटी क्या होता है स्टूडेंट्स? पंक्चुअलिटी में समय का पाबंद होना. ओके, पंक्चुअल बोलते हैं इसको. पंक्चुअलिटी इज अ वर्च्यू विच मेक्स अ पर्सन अ ग्रेट मैन. पंक्चुअलिटी मीन्स प्रॉपर यूज ऑफ टाइम. इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर इन डिटरमाइनिंग द सक्सेसफुल करियर ऑफ अ पर्सन. अ पंक्चुअल person is disciplined in his thought and deed. On the other hand, the unpunctual man wastes his and others' time. It's today's fast-paced life. It is just like the crime to waste any time. In the present age of haste and hurry, everyone finds himself busy with one or the other thing. Nobody is ready to wait. It is a duty to keep our appointments and promises and discharge our duties in time. We should not keep others waiting for us. We should be considerate enough to know the value of their time, just like we would like to wait for somebody. Sadly enough, we often act the other way round. If we idle away our time, we suffer a great deal, confronting failures now and then. Sweet are the fruits of punctuality. We must cultivate this habit right from our childhood. Next is a rainy day. Different shades of nature provide variety to life, and rainy day is one of the best days one can expect. It was the last day of the month of July. As I set out from home for school, the spattering drops of rain welcomed me, but on the way to school I was overtaken by a downpour. Somehow I managed to reach the school in time. Soon a torrential rain started. The school could not be held owing to thin attendance. When the rain slowed down to a drizzle, I cycled back home with my friends. The way was filled with waters knee deep. At many places, we had to show our skills in cycling. The raindrops drenched us completely. Looking at the wet and fresh trees, the puddles full of waters, I raced back home. I took a bath in order to wash away all the mud that I had taken on the way. Then I sat near the window to look at the rain in the pleasant weather. Next is communal harmony. India is a secular state where all religions and communities can flourish and prosper side by side. The state is committed to communal harmony. Here, people of all religions and beliefs have been living peacefully for a long time. Unfortunately, this traditionally peace-loving country is sometimes plagued by the communal problems. It all happens as some fanatical zealots indulge to torturing the people of other religions. The alarming rise of fundamentalism is a great concern to the nation. Almost all states of our country suffer religious intolerance. Intercommunal relationship suffers a breach in this blighted atmosphere. Our unity, integrity and solidarity are now at stake. It hampers the growth of the nation at every step. It is our duty to uphold the spirits of communal harmony under all circumstances. We can do this in a variety of ways. The first measure is to build trust among communities. Opportunities should be given to them all to mix up in their daily life and share the national life on an equal basis. Also, measures should be taken to bring those communities to the national's mainstreams which have been marginalized due to some reasons. Goodwill visits from one community to another are essentials for this purpose. Next, environmental pollution. Today, the world is facing a serious challenge as its eco-balance has been severely harmed. The environment is getting badly polluted. Environmental pollution has affected our lives so adversely that millions of people die annually and many more suffer continuously from diseases that were once unheard of. Rapid industrialization and deforestation are at the root of the problem. Smoke and smog whited the air, toxic chemicals, metals, oil and household waste pollute the water, dumping garbage and widespread use of inorganic manner of pesticides create land pollution. Besides, there is the menace of the noise pollution. It is mainly caused by honking of horns, bursting of crackers and reckless use of loudspeakers. All these activities contribute to the sharp rise of deadly disease and do incalculable damage to the eco-balance. Obviously, we can control pollution by afforestation and the responsibility in this regard lies with us all. If we strive hard to protect the environment from contaminations of polluting objects, we can hope for a pollution-free world which will give us healthy and pleasing world. Next is conservation of wildlife. वाइल्ड लाइफ को किस तरह से कंजर्व किया जाए बच्चों, बचाया जा सकता है. द रैपिड ग्रोथ ऑफ इंडस्ट्री poses a positive threat to wildlife. It has polluted the environment and disturbed the ecological balance. The forest areas are on the wane, and naturally it has an adverse impact on the forest life. Beasts and birds are an integral part of our forest, but they have become extinct due to hunting and poaching. Clearing of forest by agriculture, industry, in residence and other development activities. Wild animals cannot win the struggles for survival as they find themselves helpless before the mighty man. Many species of animals have become extinct as man herds them willingly for flesh, fun or for money. The process of extinction of wildlife continues unabated. In the past, animals had to face the ravages of nature, but threat from human greed is responsible for the drastic decline of wildlife. Most wild animals live in the forest and make it alive. They have to maintain the ecological balance. They are an asset to us in every sense of the word. Naturally, it is duty to conserve them in our own interest. If we undesire their existence, we ourselves too bound to fall in graver danger. Next is a visit to a book fair. Fairs provides variety and entertainment to life. They lessen the monotony of routine life. They are an essential part of our life as we learn many things from them. Of all fairs, I like the book fair most. In my town, it is usually held in the winter months. Last year, I visited the book fair with my friend Naveen. The fair was held in the large playground of a school. It was grand feast of books. The rows of stalls were erected with sufficient space to walk between them. The stalls were tastefully decorated. There were many people in the ground, but the atmosphere can calm and quiet. I breathed in air of learning. The soft and sweet strains of music filled with air. Lots of people were found crowding their favorite stalls. Men, women, children were busy buying books of their choice. The stores with their amazing architectures, designs and variety of their publication invited the book lovers. I moved from stall to stall, bought some books. I also enjoyed a talk show by an author. An evening approached. I returned home with sweet memories of the book fair. Next is a visit to a friend's place. Visiting a friend's place is my favorite pastime. It elements social relationship and helps to express our emotions and feelings. It helps to stay healthy mentally. The other day I paid to visit the Sabir's house. Is one of the dearest classmates and friends. In fact, he had been wanting me to visit his house for a long time. I gladly accepted his invitation. I took my parents' consent. I took the bicycles and set out. Sabir was awaiting me at the gate. He offers me a warm welcome. At once, I felt at home. It was my first visit to his house. Sabir introduced me to his father, mother and sister. They all welcomed me. I touched the feet of his parents and said hello to his sister. Then Sabir took me to his room. We discussed school and studies at first, and then we talked about lot of topics including friends, teachers and discipline. In the meanwhile, Sabir's mother cooked some delicious dishes. We all ate the dishes to our fill. I was deeply impressed by the hearty hospitality of my family. I invited all of them to my house in near future. It was a great visit. Next, importance of games and sports. Reading is a pleasure, but it has to be accompanied by a suitable physical activity. It is necessary to keep both mind and body fit, as a sound mind resides in sound body. Games and sports help us have a fit body. They give us rest and respite from the dull drudgery of daily work. When a player undergoes ample physical training, it builds his body and stamina. In addition to making a man healthy, playing games has to endorse qualities of head and heart. It touches team spirits, leadership qualities, cooperation, coordination, organization skills, many others. This was precisely the reasons that competitive games have been held since time immemorial. Now, brilliant performances by individual players and teams are universally acclaimed. The participants in the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, the World Cup cricket, etc. become stars overnight. In addition, games and sports not only nourish the mind and body, but also nurture the spirit of national integration and a broad international outlook. Therefore, it is necessary that all of us undertake games and sports. Next is a family get-together. A family get-together is a happy union of the members of a family. The union may be on a festive or other family occasion, such as a marriage or birthday. Such a get-together took place for 5 days in our house in Delhi during the last summer vacation. The occasion was my sister's 5th wedding ceremony. Almost all our relatives attended the function. My 2 uncles, who are settlers in Melbourne, also came in their families. But the biggest attraction was our nego generation's grandma. For some days, the whole house buzzed with sweet noise and children and laughter of the elderly. I enjoyed their sweet company very much. The occasion was celebrated with lots of games and jokes, riddles and contests. While my father and uncle shared the duties of making the occasion well arranged, the women contributed to work in the kitchen and keep the house neat even during such busy, noisy and naughty activities. Many delicious dishes keep prepared. I was in charge in my teeny toys. I often took them to the nearby park for games. I also held many games at home, such as Ludo and Antakshari. It was due to us that the whole house vibrated with joyful strikes. However, the union came to a close. The relatives began to leave one by one with tearful eyes. They bade farewells to each other with a heavy heart and promised to meet sooner than later. The memories of this union are all alive in my heart. Next is tolerance. Of all virtues, tolerance finds a foremost place. It is the capacity of adjust with adverse circumstances or accept even unfavorables common from others. And the happiness of a family largely rests upon the tolerant attribute of its members to one another. Again, it is of immense value in all aspects of life, in school, in society, and at work. A society is formed of people of different caste, creeds, and classes. They may possess varying taste and opinion, manners, and rituals. The variety embedded the intolerance, the very strength of the society. If we are not rational and objective, we cannot accept the opposite views of the other people. All social institutions break down in the absence of tolerance. In our country, tolerance is badly needed. Religious intolerance has already taken to toll of human lives. It raises its ugly head of the threatens our variety integrity. We must be aware of it. It is to be kept in mind that cultivation of tolerance is the first condition of a happy social and national life. Next is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Swachh Bharat Mission or Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a campaign run by the Government of India as a massive mass movement to intimate the theme of cleanliness all through India. The campaign was launched in seeking the way to create a clean India target by 2019. 2nd of October means 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had dreamt making India a clean India, always put his hand efforts towards cleanliness in India. This is the reason why Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was launched on 2nd October, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. To complete the vision of the father of the nation, the India government has decided to launch this campaign. The aim of the mission is to cover all the rural and urban areas of the country to present country as an ideal country before the world. The mission has targeted aims like eliminating the open defecations, converting innocent toilets into pure flush toilets, eradicating manual seweragings, complete disposals and reuse of solids and liquid waste, bringing behavioral changes to peoples and motivate health practices, spreading cleanliness awareness among the peoples, strengthening the cleanliness system in the urban and rural areas, as well as creating user-friendly environment for the private sectors interested for investing in India for the cleanliness maintenance. The mission has an interesting theme of inviting 9 new peoples by each and every person involved in the campaign and continuing this chain until each and every citizens of India gets involved in this campaign. Next है बच्चे, a journey in a crowded bus. A bus journey is seldom comfortable these days. The daily commuters are used to the wages of journey in a bus. But for a person who travels like me, it is simply a nightmarish experience. A few days ago, I boarded a bus to my uncle's house. The bus was jam-packed, but I was lucky enough to get a seat on the window. It was a bright hot day in the middle of the month of June. The air inside the bus was heavy with the fall odor of the perspiring travels. My agony multiplied many more times as the bus could hardly move in the heavy traffic. I felt uneasy, ready to vomit any time. I tried to open the window, but it was stuck and would not open despite my best efforts. In the meantime, an old man came and stood before me. Out of good manners, I stood up and offered my seat to him. He sat down with a feeling of gratitude. I had to face pushes and shoves from the standing passengers, but it was a little price I had to pay for my service to the old man. As the bus moved towards its destination, the travelers getting off were more than those getting in, so I could feel a bit respite. Gradually, the pressure eased. At last, I thanked my stars when I reached my destination. I got down the bus and filled my lungs with fresh air to feel relieved of the wedges that I had experienced in the bus. Next students, किस पर based है ये? Unemployment पर. Unemployment is one of the serious and most socio-economic problems which we face today. Unemployment can be defined as the lack of work for the workforce which it is capable to do. Many factors contribute to make it a big problem. The rapid growth of populations, the faculty education system are mainly responsible for the unemployments in our country. When a large share of population sites idle, many social evils are created, criminal activities become widespread. People take immoral ways. A sharp increase in poverty rate and low standards of public health are also the ill effects of the problems. In fact, unemployment aggravates social unrest and economic imbalance in the country. The solutions of the alarming problem should be sought in right earnest, and population control, vocalizations of educations, orientations of self-employment schemes and flourish of agro-industries are some of the useful measures that may ease the pressure of unemployment. We cannot progress unless our workforce is utilized constructively and human resource is allowed to develop fully. Next है बच्चे simple writing. Language is a system to communicate our feelings, needs and thoughts. There is often a discussion whether a writer should write in a simple and difficult language. There are many writers who profess to write in a difficult language so that literature remains within the reach of the affluent intellectual people. Such peoples are quite comfortable to forget that literature has duty towards mankind. Literature should serve the common man with its noble ideas and raise the world from narrow-mindedness to great ideals. It literates cannot influence the common man, the very purpose of uplift those who are low in social hierarchy and would not be met. And the common man would feel deprived and be unable to contribute towards the progress of the society as a whole. Many writers write a language that the readers find hard to read. No doubt, a writer should use proper words in order to express himself. However, since he is writing for others to read, he must keep the people and their educational standards in mind. If he does not do so, what he writes will be as full fails in trash. Moreover, a difficult language will always pose the danger of misunderstanding in the mind of a reader. All people cannot have excellent knowledge of the language, so it's a simple language is always preferable. A message written between the lines may not be perceived by the readers many times. Hence, the purpose of all hard work is renders meaningless. Next is terrorism. Terrorism has become a global menace today. It is the gravest menace faced by almost all countries of the world. The attacks of Twin Towers in the US on 11 September 2001 and the attack on the Parliament of India on 13 December 2001 clearly point the immense strength of hardcore terrorist groups and their powerful network. This has become all the more evident by the Mumbai attacks on 26 November 2008 and Lahore attacks on Sri Lankan players in March 2009, beside a series of many other terrorist attacks and bombing all over the world. Kidnapping, hijacking planes, cross-border terrorism, bombing, cyber terrorism are growing day by day. The terrorists use terror as a weapon to instill fear in the peoples and fulfill their demands. Terrorism in all cases result in the killing of innocent peoples on a large scale. Poverty, social and economic inequality, religious infanticism and ethnic or cultural crises are some of the factors behind the spread of terrorism. It is necessary to rebuild our world on the principles of equality, tolerance and universal brotherhood in order to root out terrorism. So ये थे बच्चे एक टॉपिक पर, किसी भी टॉपिक पर आपको दिया जा सकता है, ज़रूरी नहीं है यही टॉपिक आपको मिले, तो आपको एक प्रॉपर वे बताया गया है कि किस तरह से आप कंक्लूजन के साथ इनको कंप्लीट करते हैं। तो इनकी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे बच्चे और खुद से भी प्रैक्टिस करते रहेंगे और लर्न करते रहेंगे और समझते हुए उन चीजों को कंप्लीट करते रहेंगे।